Guys, I don't often get excited by base models, but this is what I'm talking about, baby. You guys have been in the comment section asking me to review base model cars, and often they're just not available. But this is the Skoda Karoq. It's just called the Skoda Karoq because it is the new base model of the range. We have previously reviewed the Sport line, which was pretty expensive, I think, when you start to add in all of the options. And I said in that video, you should buy the base model, don't add anything, and that's exactly what this is. And you can get into it, best of all, for $39,990. I love affordable cars, you guys know that, and this SUV is very affordable. But are the deletions, the things that it takes away from the style which is above it, worth spending less money from? Well, we'll talk about that. So we're going to take you for a full exterior tour of this base model. I put it in quotations because it does come very well equipped. We're going to check out the interior, the practicality. It's a family SUV, of course. We're going to launch it, see just how quick it is from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, and I will give it lots of sauce on the roads, see how it performs. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's talk about the way that this thing looks, because even though it's a base model, I do think it looks really, really good. So it also comes with quite a lot of inclusions as well, which, I don't know, you don't often see it, especially at this price point. So LED lights here, you've got these LED daytime running lights with really cool indicators there as well. I love the split headlight design. Big grille here, very, very big, with a radar. That is because this has adaptive cruise control, which is always very nice to see. And then down the bottom is a nice sporty bumper. You wouldn't really expect to see it here, but you do. And it does look very sporty, very Uro, and very aerodynamic as well, which is one of the benefits of this, as you'll see, because it is one of the only cars in its class to come with a turbocharged engine. At this price point anyway, you actually have really, really good efficiency, which I think a lot of us could do with in today's current climate. Let's check out the side. Alrighty guys, coming to the side now. What's different for the base model? Well, actually not much, and that's a very good thing. You've got these 18-inch wheels here, wrapped in Goodyear tires, actually pretty decent tires as well. You've got this, a key. Why do you have a key? Well, because there's no keyless entry, but there is keyless go. That is unfortunate, I feel, that you don't get keyless entry, but you're getting a base model. Ooh. Got some mirror caps here, but no 360 camera, but the reverse cameras are pretty good, and you do get parking sensors front and rear, which is a really good inclusion. Some black scratchy plastics there, and roof rails are metal. That's pretty good. No tinted privacy glass, but again, it's a base model. What do you expect? Otherwise, it's just a pretty unassuming but still good looking SUV. Let's check out the bum. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the rump derriere of the Kodiaq. And one thing I do love that you do not see on competitors, and as you guys know, does my head in, is that you actually get LED lights back here, including sequential indicators, which is pretty awesome. Got a Karoq badge there, the Skoda badge there, and also this, another thing which is fantastic, a 7-year unlimited kilometer warranty, which is really important when you want something that's reliable and low cost as well. So I think that's a good thing. It means that Skoda are actually standing by their drivetrains, and it's a Volkswagen product at the end of the day. So take that as you will. Very good. The other thing that this does delete, but at the expense, or the savings, I should say, of $5.5 grand over the model above, is don't get a powered tailgate, but you do get heaps of space. In fact, one of the things that the Karoq does really well is that dimensionally on the outside, it's actually smaller than most of its competitors, but inside it has more space in pretty much every way except for headroom. And as you'll see, it's not an issue anyway. Heaps of space with the rear seats up. You can drop the rear seats really easily using these tabs here, and then you just get heaps of room back here. It's got some smart things, 12-volt socket. You've got these rails on this side. You've got storage here, hooks. There's netting included, and you get a full-size spare wheel, which is great for touring because unfortunately one of the cars today did have a puncture. It was fine. All right, guys. Let's check out the interior. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the interior now of the Skoda Karoq. What is it like? Well, for the most part, it's really good. Soft touch materials are absolutely everywhere. Oh, except for there. But everywhere else, it's nice and soft touch, but it is quite dark in here. It's a little bit bland. It's a little bit boring. That's one of the things that Skoda are going to be addressing in future models, but for now, it is just conservative. So if you like that, you're gonna love this. If you don't, maybe you won't. But the thing I do love is just how functional and well laid out everything is. But before we get to that, let's talk about what this car has deleted to get $5,500 cheaper. First of all, in front of you, you get a smaller digital instrument cluster. Boo-hoo. It does everything I want it to, and in fact, I think I prefer it more. It's not as customizable, sure, but it shows everything you need. You also lose digital radio. Again, I don't really care about that if I'm being honest with you. And the biggest thing that you lose, but again, something that most of you probably don't even even know you have if you currently own a Skoda Karoq here. It's the Vario Flex removable rear seat. So you can actually take out the rear seats and use the car as a van if you wanted to, but not many people even know that their cars are even capable of that, or let alone do it. So just keep the seats in the back, I guess, and then you can save a lot of money. You don't really lose that much, and Practicality is just fantastic in here. First of all, it's got the classic Skoda thing. You got a couple of cup holders here, a little storage area for your phone or change if people still use coins, but also you can just take that out and you can switch it around, get a nice little ribbed area for everyone's pleasure, or you just take it out and you got more space in the center. Fan-bloody-tastic. They never said it was easy. Other thing you get an umbrella. You get the classic Skoda umbrella. I'm determined to get it out now. Anyway, you get the umbrella in here, so isn't that fantastic? It actually is, because on a wet day, it can save you. We'll just put that there for now, I suppose. And then you've got a little cord there, you got a little ticket holder there. It's phenomenal. Practicality though, this is what I was talking about. The glove box, it's just massive. Heaps of space in there. You've got this massive felt line storage area up here as well for more storage. You have an 8-speaker sound system. I know it's not Practicality, but for me that is very practical because it means I can really get the bass pumping in here. Sounds very good. Huge door bins. Got a little area here. They deleted the wireless charger, but not a huge loss. 2 USB-C fast chargers, that's why. An 812 volt socket there. Look at this. You can extend out your armrest, you can lock it in place. They get more storage under there. The display is the same as every other, and that means it's lagging behind competitors in some areas. So it's an 8-inch screen, but to be honest, everyone loves this screen on this car launch. And the reason being is that it's just so easy to use. It's not convoluted, and you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. A bit funny that you press nav and it just says it's not available. That kind of does remind you that you've got a base model, but how often are you going to do that? Probably never. It's also got this kind of gimmicky feature. Gesture control if you really want to do that. You've got physical air conditioning controls here, and it does blow very nice. It does get very cold too, and it's just easy to use, intuitive. To be honest, I prefer it over the newer Volkswagen stuff, which people do complain about. And then there are other things that make you feel like this isn't a base model. So the leather steering wheel just feels really nice to hold in the hand. It's got that golf ball effect to it. D-cut, feels very sporty. Buttons are really easy and intuitive to use. You got your cruise control stalk there. The seats, very comfy, even though they are that pretty base model fabric. They're very supportive, so no complaints. You don't roll around in here. Even though they're manually adjusting, you kind of set and forget. That might get annoying if you've got multiple people driving this car, but do you? And is it really that hard? How hard is this? Not that hard. Let's check out the back seats. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the back seats now. What's it like? Well, I'm 5'11". Heaps of legroom, toe room is phenomenal. So is headroom. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Even though this car in some instances is 300 millimeters or so shorter than a lot of its competitors, it actually has more space on the inside. So they've really maximized all the corners of this car. So heaps of headroom, which is fantastic. Obviously no sunroof, which would eat into it. But again, at this price point, you wouldn't see it, and I don't care. This though, you know, takes a hit in the back. You do get soft armrests, which is quite nice. Seating position is also really good. That's something that not enough attention is given to. My legs are at a fantastic angle, which I appreciate. Map pockets there are good. You got a couple of air vents, a little storage area. A 12-volt socket. I would have liked to have seen some USB ports, because now you need to buy an adapter for that, but woe is life, I suppose. Pull this down. We got a nice cloth center armrest with 3 cup holders. The middle one's for like an energy drink. And then these seats back here, again, of course, cloth, but very supportive, as I said. Look, it's a little bit no frills in the back, but again, for this kind of money, are your kids going to care? No. Are people in the back going to be happy? Absolutely. There's heaps of space back here. So big up, Skoda. You've done a good job. Let's launch this thing. See just how quick it is from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. Alrighty guys, one of my favorite things ever is to launch base models. We have our specialist timing gear here. What will the Skoda Karoq do? The cheapest Skoda Karoq, well, for a while anyway. Let's put the traction control off. We're gonna put the car into sport mode. Now this thing has an unofficial launch control. It'll actually activate, but it won't show us anything. So you'll see it holding revs high up, 3,000 RPM. Here we go, daddies. Oh, some wheel chirp, bogged down, come on. Oh, you could just feel the harder shifts of the gearbox. Hey, I will take that, including the fact we bogged down. 0 to 100 in 9.43 seconds. I reckon on some better tires, this thing could definitely get like sub 8.5 seconds. Impressive. It feels pretty fun. And don't forget guys, if you are looking to buy one of these or any other car, we can help you get the absolute best price with cars that are actually in stock and zero hassle. You literally don't have to do anything. CarSauce.com/buy. We have thousands of 5-star reviews with our partner Motor Scout, so we will take care of you. So head to CarSauce.com/buy car.com/buy, links in the description. Let's drive this thing. Alrighty guys, driving, the Skoda Karoq. I like its engine. See, this is like the biggest thing for me and the biggest reason that you would buy one of these over its competitor. Like, sure, it's got a lot of space inside, it's very practical, blah, blah, blah. But really, in my eyes, what it does best is this. Put the car into, S for sport, foot down. It's just got a lot of power and torque that you wouldn't really get in competitors, at least not in the same way. Like I said, most competitors are naturally aspirated at this price point. And that means they might on paper have more power, but they definitely don't have more torque. This has 250 Newton meters of torque. And when you put your foot down, it's like a lot. And it's available from really low in the rev range. This is one of the best things about Volkswagen engines is they just have such great pulling power. And so honestly, it just doesn't feel boring to drive. But if we put the car back into D for drive, the 8-speed torque converter automatic, which I kind of wish it was a DSG to be honest. But anyway, the 8-speed torque converter is still very good. You don't notice it. It's just there. Slivs, as Paris Hilton would say. It's just so easy to drive, so comfortable. And better yet, fuel consumption. Like that is such a bad thing at the moment. Fuel prices, my God, they're so expensive. And if I go on the display here and click that, 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. And yes, I've been driving it like an idiot. Seriously, been driving some amazing roads here in Sydney, having a lot of fun, doing stuff like this. But it's not boring. I love that. Suspension is nice and soft. It's not too wallowy. It just does the job right. But it's still got that very Euro feel that a lot of people just really want. That is connected to the road. You feel the road through this nice steering wheel. You don't feel disconnected. And that is one of the worst things, I think, with these commodity SUVs, is when you just feel disconnected. You don't feel that at all. It actually corners surprisingly well. Obviously, the tires here are the limitation. Even though they're good, they're not the best for cornering. But again, who cares? Seriously, who cares? You put your foot down and it just keeps building, like really good. And for me, that's the biggest reason you would buy this over a competitor like the Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage, which I've done a long-term review and you can click down the bottom. But if you want to see the base model, I'll link that one down there as well. And to be honest, this just does it so well, it's hard to not recommend this. And at the price point now of $39,990, awesome. This engine is accessible to families at a lower price point. I love that. So well done, Skoda, great car. Could it be more fun in some ways? Perhaps, but good luck getting it at a price under 40 grand. In fact, it's just not possible. It's not doable. Alrighty guys, final thoughts on the Skoda Karoq, the base model. What do I think? Well, when you compare it to its competitors, yes, it might be missing some features like lane centering, but what this has is European driving dynamics, which you simply don't get at this price point. You would otherwise get a 2-liter naturally aspirated with a CVT. That seems to be the class average. This though is a proper Euro car, heaps of torque, fun to drive, which you can't say of many competitors. And at $39,990, I think it's a bit of a steal, to be honest. And of course, if you do want to buy one of these, we can help you get the best price and cars that are actually in stock. So head to CarSauce.com/buy. Ciao for now.